Hey friends, it's Coco Kimonio, and this is what you missed in the Dread Cellar from the Elder Scrolls Online. This is the full story video, but there is also a TLDR short summary video if you just want a general idea of what you missed. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so you don't miss out on my other summary and story videos. Here is the full story of the Dread Cellar.
Burn for Dagon!
Martus, we aren't prepared for this.
If a few cultists are too much for you, best give up on the Spire. Consider that a lesson in keeping on guard.
I'm all right, Traveler. Nothing I can't tend to. I wish I could say the same for our retinue. I'm sure you have questions, but Martus is the one in charge. Speak to him.
Who are you two?
I'm Lucilla, that's Martus, my commanding officer. You probably could have guessed from our uniforms, but we are Imperial Battlemages. Well, he is. I am still a potential in training.
Can you tell me more about your order?
Has the Battle Spire been forgotten already? There really won't be anything left of the Empire by the time the Three Banners War ends. We are, or were, the elite war mages of the Imperial Legions. I didn't join for the glory, but that's disappointing.
What is the Battle Spire?
The fortress of all fortresses, where the strongest mages in the Empire reside and train. It intersects with several planes of Oblivion, or so I'm told. My initiation trial will send me on a journey through them. If I survive, I'll be inducted.
If you survive?
Many don't, but fewer still are even granted the right to attempt the trial. I'll have to prove myself capable many times over before I'm given my opportunity. If I can't pass the trial by the time I can take it, I didn't adequately prepare.
How is your injury?
Hurts. But nothing a little magic won't patch up. I wish our retinue had fared as well. That ambush cut them down before they even knew what hit them. You're ready to face the sort of enemy that can kill trained soldiers like that?
I'm accustomed to danger.
I hope your confidence is merited for all our sakes. Martus is a veteran battle mage, and I'm far from helpless. But even with your help, storming this prison seems like a suicide mission. If you decide at any point to turn back, I'll support you.
What can you tell me about our mission?
Very little. Martus said our orders are simply to investigate the source of the magical disturbance that our informant spoke of. Anything else about this place is a state secret, apparently.
Your informant?
A Dremora, if you can believe it. Called herself Lyranth. Most people wouldn't trust the word of a Daedra, and they'd be wise not to, but at the Battle Spire, we deal with the inhabitants of Oblivion more than most. Martus believed she was truthful.
I know Lyranth. She's cagey, but reliable enough.
Pardon me if I don't find that reassuring. It's a little convenient that one of Lyranth's associates shows up to help right after our escort was wiped out. Not that we can afford to refuse your help. Just try not to justify my paranoia.
This area is off limits. Only those with the highest authority are permitted here. Though, there's no one left aside from these cultists and Daedra to enforce such restrictions. If you're here to explore, perhaps we can come to an arrangement.
What are you proposing?
We have come from the Battle Spire to investigate the magical energies radiating from the Dread Cellar. This installation should be abandoned, but as you can see, it isn't entirely empty. I'll turn a blind eye to any scavenging, if you assist us.
Assist you how?
If this ambush was any indication, we're going to face a fair amount of resistance searching these ruins. Help us clear out the prison and discover the source of the magical activity here, and we'll compensate you for your service.
I'll assist your investigation then.
Then your first orders are to act as vanguard and secure the entry to the Dread Cellar. Consider anything or anyone you encounter inside a threat. We'll catch up to you once I've tended to Lucilla's wounds.
Tell me about what brought you out here.
We were tipped off that the Dread Cellar had become the source of intense magical activity from an unusual source. A Dremora named Lyranth. She warned that a group called the Waking Flame is at work here. That much has proven to be true.
I've dealt with the Waking Flame before.
That should prove useful. Lyrinth told us that these Daganic cultists seem to be unified towards some greater purpose. We need to discover just what that is and put a stop to it.
What is the Battle Spire?
The principal stronghold of the Imperial Battlemages. The Spire's council continues to train and dispatch Battlemages to preserve what remains of the Empire, where we can. Lucilla is a Battlemage in training herself. This mission will be a good test.
You've already taken casualties. A trainee might not survive this.
This will be nothing compared to her trial within the Battle Spire to attain the rank of Battlemage. She will be expected to survive traversing the plains of Oblivion. Killing the invading Daedra here is the perfect practice.
What can you tell me about the Dread Cellar?
The Dread Cellar was a prison for the worst enemies of the Empire. It was a highly protected secret until the Empire collapsed. It was abandoned not long after. There isn't much more I can say than that.
This place is enormous, Martus. Where do we even begin to search?
Focus, Lucilla. You can feel the aberrant energies if you just focus.
This debris, I feel it. Gods, I wish I couldn't. It's tying my gut in knots.
Keep clearing the path ahead. I want to evaluate this Daedric stone.
Whatever this used to be, it was magically active until recently. I can feel residual energies, like Martus said. It doesn't so much make my skin crawl as make it want to peel off and run screaming away from here.
We're on the right trail. This wreckage is saturated with lingering sorcery. Whatever this used to be, it held enormous power when it was intact.
Any idea why it's broken?
It could have simply been defective, or releasing the energy might have required it, like a child's clay bank. Or it might have become overfull and burst. I've never seen anything quite like it. But I can feel more of this energy farther in.
Drat! They found me! Oh! You're not the enemy! Oh, come! We must speak.
I was trying to figure out how to restore the prison's arcane defense matrices. It should recognize me, or my soul rather, and allow me to make the adjustments needed to escape. It would also help you clear out these invaders more easily. You've already begun the process just getting here. Light the braziers by the orange Guardian Stone, and you'll have reactivated its arcane matrix. Once you've done that, I can revise the spell, but we'll get to that matter in a moment. Thank the Eight. I thought I'd be trapped down here for all eternity. Did the Spire send you?
No, but some battle mages hired us to investigate the Dread Cellar.
Oh, great. The Spire must have assumed I was killed. Well, I was killed, but that's not the point. I'm trapped here. The spiritual enchantments of the prison's defenses are preventing my soul from leaving the Dread Cellar, and lack of body isn't helping.
Who are you?
No sense standing on ceremony under the circumstances. You can call me Vitellia. I was the caretaker for the Dread Cellar. The prison's been abandoned for quite some time, so I was assigned to try to keep it from completely falling apart.
What happened to you?
Those waking flame cultists and their Daedra happened to me. I managed to kill a few score of them, but they were too many and too willing to suicide charge through my destruction spells for me to fend off. So, here we are.
What were you saying about Arcane Matrices when I arrived? I missed it.
I was trying to figure out how to restore the prison's arcane defense matrices. It should recognize me, or my soul rather, and allow me to make the adjustments needed to escape. It would also help you clear out these invaders more easily.
What do you need me to do?
You've already begun the process just getting here. Light the braziers by the orange Guardian Stone and you'll have reactivated its arcane matrix. Once you've done that, I can revise Bell, but we'll get to that matter in a moment. You restored the arcane matrix of that Guardian Stone. The good news is I can now activate the stone to revise the summoning spell. The bad news is, we need to reset it first by summoning the Guardian, which will try to kill you. I'll prepare the Guardian Stone for activation. You ready some burn salves if you've got them, and touch the stone to summon the Purgatory. I'll be just outside the gate if you need me. Give it all you've got. You've subdued it! Excellent! I can reattune this one to recognize you now. I'll have the Purgatory Summoning spell updated shortly. You'll be able to call upon it at similar stones placed strategically throughout the prison. We can do the same with the other Guardians once you restore their magical matrices.
How can I do that?
The process will be the same as what you've done so far. Find deactivated arcane matrices and restore them. Doing so will open another entrance to this nexus, and you can attempt to subdue another Guardian.
Where can I find these other matrices?
Well, who knows what the Waking Flame's done to the place since they've been here? I've heard them undertaking some enormous construction project. There will be one in the dungeons and another down in the pit. Keep an eye out for familiar signs.
I'll try to find the other inactive matrices.
There's so much anguish.
That creature. Was it feeding on these? No. There's too much gathered here for this to be some Daedra's dinner. More likely, the Dremora were using that creature to draw out this energy. But why?
Ugh, what even is this power, Martus? It makes me want to curl up and die.
Steel yourself, Lucilla. We'll only find out by forging ahead. Escort, please, take the lead. That's a Daedra the likes of which I've never seen, or even heard of in my time at the Battle Spire. Its corpse still pulses with the same energy as within these stones. They are connected.
The monster was siphoning energy from them before I killed it.
The obvious explanation would be that the creature feeds on these energy reserves, harvesting them as a honeybee might. I don't like obvious answers. All these Daedra didn't come here to rear these things like cattle. There's a bigger picture.
What makes you say that?
You could call it a hunch. I would call it experience. Daedra don't just arrive on the mortal realm by coincidence, and they aren't here to just live off the land. They are doing this for a greater purpose. We just need to discover what, and thwart it.
Is this what Oblivion feels like? It's how I imagine everything antithetical to our world would feel. I suppose I'll have to get used to it if I'm to have any hope of surviving there.
What makes you want to subject yourself to that?
I have a talent. That's not just some excuse to brag. I was selected because I have the potential to make a difference in this crazy world. It's my duty to use it to restore the stability of the Empire, a return to peace.
You think becoming a battle mage is the best way to achieve peace?
I know it's the power of the Empire that kept the provinces from this all-out war. The Battle Spire, the legions, all of it held Tamriel together. The three banners are just going to continue killing each other until that kind of might returns.
The cult has made itself at home here. To be expected. These diagrams, they don't depict anything we've seen so far.
It almost looks mechanical. Cataclysm, that mean anything to you?
Not yet.
It seems like this Cataclysm is why the Waking Flame are here. It doesn't look like anything of mortal design. Are the Daedra building it? This investigation is turning up more questions than answers.
Another piece of the puzzle. The question is where it fits in. We'll gather what we can carry and be right behind you. Another vessel. But this one is drawing in energy. The Daedra didn't bring this baleful energy with them. They're drawing it out of the Dread Cellar itself.
What could have happened here that could produce that much vile energy?
Best not to ask questions you don't want the answers to. We should destroy any more of these we find.
You'll hear no argument from me.
I sense more down these side corridors. We'll split up for now. Keep clearing the main halls of the enemy. I've read theories suggesting that Daedra feed off mortal emotions. Fear, desire, hatred. Some more compelling than others. This is the first time I've seen it manifested so literally. These vessels are soaking up all the Dread Cellar's misery.
It's misery?
The closest I can compare it to is the way necromans harness connections between a soul and the intense emotions that can stir the undead. They are harvesting the residue of such emotions here, in disturbingly great quantities.
To power that machine?
That's my guess as well, though we haven't discovered evidence of that just yet. If the Cataclysm requires feeding off so much mortal suffering, its purpose must be truly frightening.
Something is not right with this place, and I'm not just talking about the Daedra. All these vile energies aren't some byproduct of their presence. The Dread Cellar is the source of them. How did this place become so steeped in corruption?
Your guess is as good as mine.
A vast prison in the middle of nowhere. Kept a highly guarded secret. Martus is right. I probably don't want to know what happened here. To be brimming with so much of this awful power, it must have been horrific.
The cult's designs.
He said protected. Do you think they finished it? Their cataclysm?
Likely. Look for anything that might tell us what it is. You, keep going. We'll be able to regroup with you a little farther ahead. I doubt the Waking Flame expected us to get this far, but they're beginning to realize the threat we pose. Keep up the attack while they're still unprepared. These corridors should rejoin beyond the room ahead.
You know the way ahead?
I'm familiar with the layout of this prison. I came prepared to assault it, after all. Once Lucilla and I have looked over this cataclysm research, we'll catch up with you.
Another of those monsters.
Stop it from draining that vessel!
Ugh, got away.
We stopped its harvesting at least, and I feel far greater concentrations of this power ahead. That creature had the sense to flee. Did it value its life? Or was it protecting the power it had siphoned away from this vessel? Either way, if we continue to destroy these Agonimium stones, it'll reduce the threat they pose.
Agonimium stones?
That is how the cult refers to them, and it's just as we believed. They are Daedric relics, fashioned to soak up the residual negativity saturating this place. Why they have those creatures feeding on that energy? I'm still not sure, but I can guess.
For the cataclysm?
That seems like a safe assumption. Those creatures might just lead us to that infernal device.
It ran. Every other Daedra here has lunged right for our throats. I don't find that as reassuring as you might think. It might mean they're regrouping, preparing for us.
Go ahead and restore the power to that blue stone, and we can continue. With the Undertaker's Arcane Matrix restored, we'll be able to summon it as well. Go ahead and restore the power to that blue stone, and we can continue. Everything seems to be in order with the Undertaker's Guardian Stone. I can prepare it for you to activate whenever you're ready. I'll see myself out of your way once it's prepared. I'd really prefer not to be anywhere near that thing when it appears, especially in my current state. I'll admit I took a little satisfaction watching you beat that monster to dust. Now I can assure it will recognize you. With that unpleasant business out of the way, I can authorize you to use the Undertaker's stones for yourself. There is, of course, one more Guardian that needs to be restored and reset before I can get out of here, though.
Where can I find the last Guardian's matrix?
Down in the Pit of Despair. But that's where the Waking Flame has done most of their construction. We'll just have to hope that they haven't damaged anything.
I'll search for the last matrix.
Is that you, Martus? I thought you'd lost your appetite for screams.
A battle mage? Martus, you know him?
Whatever you've gotten yourself involved in, Cyrinin, it ends here.
I'll handle the Atronach. Killed that damn mage.
If you listen carefully, you can still hear all their screams. Is that malice in your eyes, Martus? Have I rekindled your passion for causing pain?
You've always had a special place of loathing in my heart, Cyrinin.
He was responsible for this nightmarish place. You were responsible for this place.
That has no bearing on this mission.
We just killed another battle mage, someone you knew!
I wasn't expecting to find anyone still here. This place was closed down.
I guess your secret wasn't as safe as you thought. I can't believe you.
Our objective hasn't changed. Discover what the Waking Flame are up to, and stop it. We need to keep moving. Despite what Lucilla might think, I had no foreknowledge of what, or who, we'd find here. The Dread Cellar was abandoned a long time ago, and I left it behind long before that.
What's your history with the Dread Cellar?
I was an interrogator here, like Cyrinin, though I didn't enjoy the work the way he did. It was a necessary evil. The captives held here all posed existential threats to the Empire, dangers to be contained, intelligence to be extracted.
Dangerous how?
An elder counselor's aide, secretly spying on their correspondence. A guildmaster propping up a puppet governor. A Debellan high priest who covertly commanded a cult of Mephala. A vampire who held an entire island in her thrall. Just to name a few.
And what did you do to them?
I extracted knowledge from them, coercing cooperation however I could. Sometimes subterfuge was enough. Usually, it was not. Our methods were better left to the imagination. It left scars on them and I both. Eventually, I sought reassignment.
Do you regret your time here?
I regret that I lacked the resolve for it. Had I still been an interrogator here, I might have uncovered something that would have prevented all this senseless slaughter. Or maybe I just would have become like Cyrinin. Who's to know?
Who is Cyrinin?
An interrogator for the Dread Cellar, though that's a charitable descriptor. Torturer would be closer to the truth. I never knew what became of him after this place was abandoned. I tried my best to forget him.
He didn't return to the Battle Spire?
That's what should have happened, though becoming entangled with a Daedra cult was a natural fit. He wouldn't have been able to continue indulging his dark impulses at the Spire. I'm only surprised he didn't wind up in service to Molag Bal.
Martus was tight-lipped from the start. He claimed it was for our mission's secrecy, but he just wanted to hide his involvement in all this. What else has Martus neglected to mention? He's put us all in danger!
How would knowing his past have made a difference in your mission?
We trusted him to lead us, and his priority has been to protect his secrets. Our escort might still be alive if we'd infiltrated using his knowledge instead of marching up the front gate. But what's more blood on the hands of someone who worked here?
Can you trust him enough to continue the mission?
I'll go on with the mission because those are my orders. Trusting him has nothing to do with it. I'm just not going to assume my welfare is his concern, and neither should you.
Torturous energies are much stronger down here.
Whoever could have guessed? How could you ever have participated in this wanton cruelty?
No one here deserved your pity. Save it for the poor souls being butchered in Cyrodiil.
You can explain it to the Spire Council, in case you neglected to inform them of what you were up to here.
Lucilla, that will not go how you expect. We are drawing close to something of immense power. I have no doubt it's this cataclysm we've learned about. Now isn't the time or place for squabbling. We need to focus on finishing the mission and getting out of here alive.
Do you feel any responsibility for this?
I may be made to account for my role in this prison someday, but I won't bear the guilt of whatever madness Cyrinin was party to long after I left. I will stop it, not because of misplaced guilt, but because that's my duty.
Are you concerned about Lucilla telling your Spire Council about all this?
She can say whatever she likes in our debriefing. It will be a rude awakening for her, though. Neither my history nor that of this prison is a mystery to our superiors. I was chosen for this mission for my knowledge and discretion. Sadly, she was not.
Smug bastard. To think I used to look up to him as a mentor. He's more of a monster than the Daedra.
You two were close before this?
He helped train me at the Battle Spire. I thought he picked me for this mission because he trusted me and my ability. Clearly he didn't, but now I see I'd never want to be the kind of person he'd trust his secrets to. I won't keep quiet for him.
He doesn't seem so concerned about that.
No, he doesn't. But that won't stop me from saying what needs to be said, unless he thinks he can keep me quiet, and you too. If you watch my back down here, I'll watch yours.
With the last Arcane Matrix restored, you just need to connect it to the remaining Guardian Stone. We're so close. The Grim Warden's Guardian Stone is reconnected. When you're ready, I'll prepare the stone so you can summon it. Just make sure you're prepared to face a tempest of blades, or the Grim Warden will chop you to chowder in an instant. I can make it recognize you now, at least. You've done it! Once I've reset the Grim Warden's matrix, you'll be able to call upon it yourself, and more importantly, I'll be able to disable the spiritual wards and leave this miserable place. You have my eternal gratitude.
What will you do once you're free?
Well, assuming I'm not just whisked away to whatever afterlife the Divines intended, I suppose I'll have to find my way back to the Battle Spire. Or perhaps just to a priest of Arcane who can help a freshly lost soul.
Good luck, Vitellia.
To you as well. I hope the Guardians help you kick those Daedra and their bootlicks all the way back to Oblivion. Painfully.
Daedra are pouring their energy into that machine!
There are more of them coming!
Over there as well. Lucilla and I will hold them back! Stop that thing!
Let this world be shattered, for the glory of Mehrunes Dagon!
Didn't think we were going to survive that. Nearly didn't.
So long as this awful place remains, what's to say they won't try again?
It looks like their contraption didn't survive producing that abomination. Thank the Divines.
I'll see that you're rewarded for cleaning up Martus's mess.
My age is showing. Don't worry, I'll live. It'll take some effort to mend, though. I'm glad that abomination didn't leave you too much worse for wear.
Do you know what the abomination was?
I don't know. It resembled a type of Daedra native to the Deadlands, but whatever this diabolical machine did to it made it unlike any Daedra I've ever seen. I have to wonder if it turned out as intended, given the condition of this contraption now.
Do you think that other battle mage was behind all this?
Doubtful. Cyranin was an imaginative torturer, but not smart enough to contrive this whole scheme. He likely helped the Waking Flame tap into the torturous energy soaked into this prison, but conceiving of this machine would be beyond him.
Any idea who could really be behind this?
No, but I suspect our Dremora informant may have more to say about that. I'll be sure to coax it out of her when she and I speak about what we uncovered here.
What happens to the Dread Cellar now?
That will be up to the mages of the Spire Council. We don't have the resources to guard this place from further incursions. They may devise a means of cleansing the lingering energies here, or simply decide to blast it into dust. it won't be missed.
What a mess. Martus would have gotten us all killed if not for you. Unleashed that monstrous thing on the world and left the stain of this place to fester. He can't get away with his part in this, but I'm worried that he will.
What makes you say that?
He's confident my complaints to the Spire Council will amount to nothing. If he's to be believed, the Dread Cellar is something they're well aware of, if not responsible for themselves. Martus won't face justice for what he's done at the Battle Spire.
So, what are you going to do?
I can't call a man like him comrade, and I can't go back to an institution that would support all this. I can desert. He's injured. He can't stop me, but then he'd never answer for his crimes. If I judged him myself, would you stand in my way?
I won't stop you from leaving, but you shouldn't kill Martus.
You're right. I shouldn't let his misdeeds stain my honor any more than they already have. Here, take this as a payment for your assistance. You should go before Martus drags you into anything else. Martus, what you've done is unforgivable. I won't be returning to the Battle Spire with you. I won't be returning at all.
Lucilla, you're one of the most promising candidates in the Spire. You can take another mentor.
If this is what it means to be a part of the Spire, I want nothing to do with it.
I admire Lucilla's convictions, even if they're going to get her killed one day. Deserting the Legion would be insane if the Empire wasn't in shambles. The best I can do for Lucilla is report her as presumed killed in action.
Do you think you and Lucilla will reconcile?
That will be up to her. I don't harbor any ill will toward her, or you, for any feelings you may have about my past. I don't expect either of you to understand. It's not something you can truly weigh against your conscience until you experience it.
And that was the full summary of the Dread Cellar. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and share it with your friends and guildmates. You should also check out my other summary and story videos. Thank you to my friends Blue Creature, Frowsy, and Joe Fry for running this dungeon with me. This is Coca Camonio, wishing you a good game.